Do you want your 50 New Zealand dollars to stretch further? Well then come with me because you're in the right place. This is Savvy Suppers, where I teach you how to make 3 dinners with leftovers for 2 to 3 people. These dinners are delicious, yum, tasty, and they all come in under $50. This week's episode is all about mince. I've made 3 delicious mince dinners that aren't just your average mince on toast or something boring. So if you want to find out 3 banging ways to make 3 incredibly delicious mince dishes, then come with me and I'll show you how to make these 3 amazing dinners for under $50. Welcome back to Savvy Suppers, where I head to the supermarket, spend under $50 and show you how to cook banging dinners that stretch into lunches too. The cost of living is wild here in NZ, so let's make every dollar count without eating boring food. And that's today's shopping, and it came in at $43.28. So let's make this first tasty dinner. For each of the dinners this week, I've got some beef mince and some pork mince. So our first meal is rissoles. If you don't know what they are, they're kind of like a meatball. So I've got my meat and some dried breadcrumbs. I didn't have any in the cupboard, but I did have some sage and onion stuffing. So sometimes you just got to use what you got. And then we need to grate our onion and our carrot, add that in too, and crack in 1 egg. And finally, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of Chinese spice. And now all we have to do is mix this all together, ball them up, and pop them in the air fryer. While they're cooking, I'm going to get some rice ready. And finally, I'm going to serve it up with some Asian slaw. This stuff is great because not only does it already have in it coriander, onion, and all them crunchy slaw bits, but when you're working on a budget, it's also got a lovely sesame dressing. Maximum flavour and ultimate ease. And there it is, easy Asian rissoles with a tasty little slaw and some rice. A super budget friendly dinner. That's really hot, but oh so tasty. And the best thing is, you've got leftovers ready for tomorrow. That's dinner 1. Tune back in to see what happens with the rest of the mince. Oh, that is so good. Welcome back to Savvy Suppers. I spent under $50, which is pretty difficult here in New Zealand considering cost of living, but I make with it 3 banging dinners plus some leftovers for lunch. And this one might be one of my favourites. We're making Middle Eastern gozleme. So the very first thing we need to do is make some dough. This is such a quick, simple dough to make. It's just oil, water, salt and flour. Give it a good knead. Pop it to one side to rest for half an hour. I've got the 1/4 pack of the pork and the beef mince. I've got the white onion, what we're just going to use half and dice it up. And now you've got to raid the cupboard and the freezer. I had a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of chili flake, and some cumin. Plus I found a teeny tiny clove of garlic, so I thought you can go into. Now, raid the freezer. It could be a bag of peas, some frozen spinach, which I'm probably going to use, or it could even be that old bag of stir-fried veg. So get your filling cooked, add in your onions, soften them up, your mince, add in your herbs and spices, and add in your veg. And while your mix is cooling down, it's time to do the dough. What I like to do before I fill the base one is pop it onto something I can carry it to the stove on. It might be a board like this, or maybe even just a plate. And now this is where it's really great. Don't ever throw anything away. This is the tiniest block of cheese I had, and I'm going to add a little bit in. And off it goes to the pan on a low heat. And then to go on the side, some of that Asian slaw from the other day, a touch more of the dressing. It's like a little mini pizza. That's the second dinner done. And remember, there's another one of these, so you're going to have plenty left over for your lunch. Oh my God, that is so good. The outside is crisp, the inside packed with all of that good stuff. You should give this one a go. And if not, tune back in for the next episode of Savvy Suppers and find out what I make with the last bit. Welcome back to Savvy Suppers. We're at day 3 of the week, so let's see what we can rustle up with our last few bits from our shopping. So that's it. That's all we've got left. Let's make something delicious. If you haven't worked it out yet, we're making gnocchi bolognese. Super simple, quick and easy. There's the only bit of prep I need to do. And then I found in the fridge some interesting old tomato relish, which I'm also going to add in, a little garlic and some Italian herbs from the cupboard. Again, just because I had them. So let's get this proper comfort food cooking, which is cheap to make, but feels like you're having a fancy dinner out. There really is nothing special to this bolognese. Just soften off your onions and your carrots, and we're going to add in that mince, brown it all off. I'm going to add in the herbs and that weird bit of relish, then the 2 cans of tomato, and we're going to let this cook for 15 to 20 minutes. Pop on some water, cook off the gnocchi, and this dish is ready to go. You've got your hot gnocchi with a tiny little bit of that starchy water left. Add in your spoonful of beautiful bolognese and serve it up. And that is dinner 3 of Savvy Suppers. It might not be the richest bolognese you've ever made, but with only a few ingredients, you can have the most comforting bowl of dinner on a cold winter's night, and also knowing you've got leftovers for lunch tomorrow, so you could even have that classic mince on toast. And that's the end of this week's Savvy Suppers. Tune back in next week and see what I can whip up for under $50. It's so good.